Hello. It is I once again. You guys know the drill by now. Kinkle, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, damn. That's funny. Hello everyone, my name is Kinkle. I'm a Genshin content creator. I do streams, account reviews, and abyss clears, and a bit of theorycrafting. Hello.
Where did he go?
Bro
What?
disappeared. We was just here.
What the? What? Wait, he's just gone?
Yeah, bro. Actually, I think he admitted he actually just disappeared. I guess.
All right. Either Nilu or no, yeah, Nilu. Like actually, just Nilu.
All the restrictive, it's Nilo by far. It's not even close.
Yeah, it was
Where
gonna
did
say
you
Nilo,
come
but like,
from?
yeah, bro actually just popped in out of nowhere. Nilo, yeah, but I'd say Skirk as well as
I had something to check. That's
upsettingly
what.
restrictive character because of the situation with the amount of characters that are within her restriction are not a whole lot, so or not very good to say. I feel like Nilo within her restriction is kind of fun because there's so many characters you can use to make up her team that and still function well. So yeah, that's my take.
I was kind of thinking like if you look at Nilu teams, you can technically take Skirk out of full freeze teams and she still like functions. Even if you just like double Hydra with Shiloh or something, that still
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
exists. But with Neely, she kind of
She's
doesn't
just a
exist
Hydra.
outside
Listen,
of
Babe
Denji.
Nilo, okay? Surely. Babe
Babe
Nilo.
Neelu Copia. I don't know. That's the reason why I drew the line for them. Yeah.
I think
I
think
feel
that would
like
have been okay if there was a second Geo that actually had a good construct, or just a
I
second
think
Geo that had a construct that was good, basically.
because the
right
thing is
now,
right. Oh, go ahead.
Hmm? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes. Go ahead.
Are you continue your sentence?
I said what I said. Go in.
Oh my god. Okay, I was gonna say with Chiori, I don't necessarily think. I don't because Chiori requires one thing just being a construct, right?
Hmm?
And I feel like it's not. If you look at Chiori's teams right now, it's kind of just because the construct characters kind of suck. Even if you like because you're saying Chiori's like who's the most restrictive character? All right, so I don't really think it can be Chiori then because if you just like take Chiori with the construct, she slots into a ton of different duo team cores. She doesn't necessarily need an entire team to be built around constructs. I mean, she's fine with going
I,
too.
Yeah. Wait, Saga. Hold on. This is urgent. They can't hear you on stream. You can't be heard. I don't think.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I just realized. Yeah.
Okay.
Fat rip.
Okay.
Bro
Okay,
got
I think you can hear me now. Oh, the moderation. This happened before. Anyway, welcome to Sucrose Stans Podcast, 23rd episode. All the members already introduced themselves. Topic of today is restricted characters. Nilu. Okay. We were at Nilu. And
Also, on the top of Nilu, I want to say that she's also the easiest character to counter when it comes to Abyss matchups. By far, the
That too,
easiest
yeah.
to counter. Like, you
Yeah.
put Electro Shields, what? Electro Shield, no. Cryo Shield, what can she do?
that's
Electro Shields actually isn't that bad because Dendro is not bad at breaking those. If you get a
If you
decent
have
boom
the
generation.
to surpass the Cryo Shields, that's fine. But if you don't, it's the worst team in the game you can play against that.
Yeah.
okay, but regarding Nilu, I want to make the point that the teams themselves actually can still slot in a lot of different characters. Like Nilu teams themselves can look very different. It's
That's what
always
I was saying earlier.
yeah. Nahida is always on the likely unless they release a better Nahida that works in multi-wave, then we're going to see that Andrew character be used. And I'm praying for the day.
Yeah, there's multiple variants. There's
Yeah.
like the Nouvelette one I've seen the most when there was Paigeio
I haven't
back in
tried
the
that
day.
yet.
And then Shingsho Al item for single target, I don't know. But nowadays it's just Furina Yolhan Nahida. It's pretty much talent damage. It's
I mean,
sad.
I don't think
I'm-
so. Like,
I mean, I still to this day use a typical like EM Xingqiu, Nahida, yeah, because I don't have a Baizu, Yao and Nilo team, so and it's still clear. So I mean, I don't
it
know.
is.
I think they're just very fast. There's ways to upgrade and there's ways for them to work. So
Yeah, I think the Yelan Furina specifically is the meta in single target, but outside of like
Yeah.
single target in AoE, you can do a lot of stuff.
yeah,
Yao
Yes.
can actually be kind of good. Olay can be good. Aiju can also
Ah,
be
those like the
kind of
top
fun.
ones. In general, no? Call is like the top choices for those teams now.
Yeah.
I recall being that.
Yes, Olay is the AoE like for lower cost.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
thought
are
she's the
talking
girl.
about Nilo. I didn't want to talk about Nilo, to be honest. I wanted y'all to say, oh, Chiori is more restricted.
Okay,
She's
I mean,
not.
I mean,
But
Okay,
I think, like,
I would also say too something I wanted to say about Chiori too is that I mean maybe this is just my opinion because maybe I'm C2 Jalonen pilled a bit, but I feel like Jalonen makes up a bit of that difference in just being like double geo teams for Chiori, to where she still works even without her C1. Like you can still get decent damage with her, and
Yeah.
it's still like
have
fine. It's not like bad
with
where
the-
she actually needs her C1 or needs to be with the geo contract to work.
Also, that's literally what Navia means we're doing, and it was Navia's best team until
Yeah,
Showa.
that too. Yeah, literally, yeah.
to be fair, I still think that's
Yeah,
like
pretty much the
it's missing out on a big part of the kit. So I do like it's just Chiori is a good character, but she would be a peak character if she had her C1 in that team. Like that's how I see it.
I mean, that's
I
true,
wouldn't
yeah.
say good. She's decent.
Yeah.
And decent being a stretch.
Yeah,
don't know if
that,
that's right.
that's
I
what
don't
they
think
were
decent is a
making
stretch.
arguments for.
I don't think it's a stretch either. She is pretty decent, I would say.
Oh yeah. It's just that the difference between C0 and C1 is massive, especially in a team DPS standpoint. Like it's pretty big. And if
Well,
you
yeah.
want to slot Fury in for like that double geo wheelchair core that was popularized, you want that C1 for it to be worth it. Without the C1, it's difficult to justify.
Yeah, to me, the biggest problem about Chiori is really that she, like, for her full potential at C0, that she relies on either Zhongli or Kichi. or Ito, but like Ito is just too like Ito's best team doesn't even use like at C0 doesn't even use Chiori, I think. Like it's
Isn't his
It's
best
double
team
hydro.
Zero? Would it just
It's double
be?
hydrocopy.
Yeah, I was about to say it's double hydro with Chalonan, right? His best
Yeah,
team.
double hydro surely.
Yeah, so I feel like if we get a better like geo construct unit, which I really hope we do, or we maybe get, that would be really crazy, but we get a non-geo character that has a geo construct or something.
Kind of
That's
weird.
never happening.
I don't know how it's gonna work for
I don't
sure.
think it's weird.
Bro,
because
it's dreaming.
I'm just saying. Chaska is a pyro character. Like
Yeah.
if
But it kind of
Technically,
makes
some
yeah.
kind of passive.
It makes sense within the continuity of Animo because Animo absorbs elements in the sense. So it makes sense that she can use multiple elements at once. It wouldn't make any sense for some power character to have a geo construct, would it? Like it'd
I
be
feel like
really
an
weird.
Nemo character with a geo construct would
It would make even less sense in my opinion.
it would be fun, and it would be. I feel like they could work around that. Like if it's a, I don't know, maybe it's like a character that also has some
But
kind
then
of Nilu,
even
Anemo, and Geo. When Anemo and Geos are in the team, then they
That's
do a
kinda
special thing.
with
That'd be
geo
weird.
character, with the
What
geo
teams-
concept, like a geo carry, I don't think it will be worth putting Chiori over Shilonen until you have Shilonen C2 or Chiori C1. One of the two. More
Yeah.
so towards Shilonen C2, which is the one that makes the geo sample, which is a shred, permanently active.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, yeah, I do think that both Shilonen and C2 and Chiori C1 were like really mean in terms of
It's so
restrictiveness.
weird. Like, why did they do that?
Yeah, they specifically didn't want mono geo people to be happy. They wanted mono geo to be 12 cost.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so stupid that they want money. Fuck my Kappa Chunga's life.
Okay, let's talk about other characters. There are more characters like Neo, which are characters that specifically want two elements in the team, like two different elements, which are Chevreuse and Escoffier.
Whoa. Yeah, I was actually when you brought up the question earlier in the week, I actually thought about it. Chevreuse is an example of a character who's restrictive. That's kind of
Not
good.
restricted at all.
Well, I mean,
Well-
she's restrictive. She's restricted to having two elements within a team, which is by definition restrictive. But it's in the sense a good way in which it buffs a reaction that would have never been used in the first place. Over teams are always seen as kind of iffy because of how it worked with the enemy mechanics. But now it's actually an archetype we use because of what Chevreuse does, right?
I wanted to kind of say that I think people downplay that Chevreuse kind of still functions even without like using a full overload team, because she still gives like at least 60% damage bonus and 40% attack, which is not horrible.
Well, I mean, for the 4% attack, you still need an overload reaction, so you have to have Electro in the team. But yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, but
so it often depends on the team to see how much we can contribute even without the full thing.
That too.
Also about Chevreuse saved Electro, basically.
No, she did it.
She kind of did, yeah.
Kinda did.
I disagree.
Okay, but I wanted to say another thing about Chevreuse, which is, in my opinion, like the other characters, or specifically Escoffier, feels weird because you can't run Bennett. Specifically for Skirk. Skirk would have been a unit very reliant on Bennett if they didn't do the bullshit that they did. Like
but didn't they just added a buff on her passive that's basically similar to Bennett? But instead of giving like 1,300 attack, it just multiplies their damage by 1.7.
Yeah, exactly. But regarding that, Chevreuse can just run very strong buffers, like both Bennett and Yansan. Like even though Yansan is restrictive, still buffing Veresa, and Veresa is one of the strongest carries in the game. So
stronger than Nu 3.
I feel like with cons, Yansan becomes a decent bit less restrictive, especially C4 mainly, but
Yeah, that's fair.
You can find you can find ways to work her into different teams and keep maintaining the buff.
What did you
With the C4, I have seen
You
mostly around Synox, it's the only character I care about. So I'm gonna say, with the C4, you can actually use it on Syno.
Yeah, I know. I've been doing that
With
recently.
dancing combos. I think I've
Yeah.
said it on. And
Yeah,
with
I've tried it
Clorinda
quite a
as
bit.
well, you can maintain it more reliably. She doesn't
Yeah.
move enough to maintain it without C4, but with C4, you'll have a better time.
Yeah.
yeah, Flip, I was about to ask you in
I've-
your yeah, what?
No, you say it first.
You like in your Clorent calc you used Yansan, right?
Yeah.
Do you think for Clorent, C0 Clorent?
I feel like people because the thing with Chlorinde, right, is that if Chlorinde goes below the Nightsoul points cap, then it's very hard to get back above. But
Yeah.
what Chlorinde does is just maintain. She doesn't go like any higher or lower. She just maintains the buff.
Mhm.
So if you,
Yeah.
what I've done with like a pre C4 Yansan is if you just dash before C4 and get the dash out as well via bursting from your last rotation, then Clorinde is able to maintain it even at like a C4 Yansan.
Yeah, that's what I came to conclusion of too when I tested it. It's just that the moment you drop below like this, you're never getting back up. And that was the issue I kept having when I tested with C0 Yansan.
Yeah, and it's also like the same reason why you can like use a C6 Yansan with Chlorinde, because once Malvika, if you're using Malvika can cap like the C6 Yansan buff, and then Chlorinde can maintain it from there.
Yeah.
Is that the reason why Clorent performed better than Arlecchino in your sheet?
Yes. that is exactly the reason why.
Yansan Pug.
I guess we can
unit.
Since we are already on the topic, we can talk about like Yansan. Do you think it was a good move to like restrict her to movement, or like was it?
I think it was a good move.
I think it was a good move because the way I think about it is that imagine if they released a Bennett like unit, like Yansan basically, but you didn't have the restriction. Now Bennett is literally just completely power grip because now you don't have to worry about getting thrown around by reactions. You don't have to worry about circle impact at all. You just have a free attack buff, and it would have would have been unbalanced. So Yansan requiring movement makes more balance. He still works with quite a few characters anyway. Just you have to change your combos a bit for some people, but she ends up still working. So I think it was well made and balanced.
And now I
honestly feel like people underrate Yansan if anything.
Yeah, I think I kind of did when she came out, and then after using more and more, I'm like, she's not really that bad.
And
Maybe
now with the
switch up
Escoffier
again.
signature, it's even better.
Huh?
I'm still on the Yansan hate train. I'm sorry.
What? Why?
I think.
Yeah.
I was gonna say what changed it for me was Escoffier's weapon being so good for her that like now for most of my teams I would normally use Bennett, even with characters who don't have it. Like if I would just do a nuke with Navia, for example, Yansan's better than Bennett, even if I'm not getting the C6 buff because Yansan or Escoffier's weapon is just that good. So when you equate that with Yansan, she ends up just being like a really nice support.
I don't have the weapon.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously you need to get the weapon, but
do you wanna know? How
what's going
long
on?
has it been since Spears has gotten a support weapon?
Well,
Ever since fucking release. This is the first.
Yeah.
At least the
Yes.
good one.
Yeah, it's the first one, yeah.
And Zhangling can use it. We all cheered.
No, Xiangling can use it.
She can't use
Overlord
She can't.
because she can
What?
snapshot Yansan.
No, I mean like can't like use it as a support weapon because she doesn't heal.
Well, obviously, but she can
Well,
also
she doesn't
gives
know that.
gives 24% attack. It's still decent for her. So
I just meant it's a supportive weapon that the supportive effect doesn't work on Zhangling. If it worked, then it would be fine. Like you could.
It works in a sense of snapshot, but per herself now. Yes.
yeah,
Okay, let's.
if y'all, yeah, I was gonna say if Yon's on the team, you give the buff to
Now it's Emilie's
to
turn.
her. She can snapshot it.
Oh, I would start from the beginning of Fontaine, since we've talked about like older characters like Sumeru and below, and then we talked about Natlan. I guess we didn't talk about Kinnick. I want to focus on specifically on. I want to do my moderation. What if we specifically talk about Furina and the healers?
Oh, I want to say something. Furina and healers is a double-edged sword. Furina wants healers, and healers to stay relevant, the ones that only heals, wants Furina to be relevant. So it's a double-edged sword. Healers, teams that uses healers will often like Furina more than other units, if they can use her. And Furina likes teams with healers. It's just how it is. They hold each other's balls, basically.
I agree. Specifically with Escoffier and Furina, I do notice that, like, Furina... Okay, this is a hot take, but, like, Furina's best teams are Escoffier teams, in my opinion. And,
She got kicked out from from Pyro teams. They move it to Melt, most of them.
Yeah.
And the only character that really, really likes her that doesn't use a team-wide healer by default is Nuvolette.
And I like Ayak. Oh no, this might be a take for another episode, but I like Ayaka currently more than Azure.
I actually agree with you on that. I actually like Ayaka. I like Escoffier. Just feels like a lot now too.
You're about to get cancelled for this.
Listen, dude.
Please be a question.
200 subs is impossible. I'm allergic to subs. Reacting to that. Yeah, Raulfigas?
Okay. What would you choose to play? Skirk with Escoffier? No, Skirk without Escoffier or Nuvolette without Furina?
Nuvolette Furina.
Nuvolette without Furina.
Yeah,
probably.
I would say Nuvolette Furina. Obviously, yeah.
I would go Skirk without Escoffier, honestly, fucking god. I have played Nuvolette without Furina for so long that when I got Furina, it felt like I was playing a different character.
Oh, wow.
It's so fucking massive. I don't want to play Nuv without Furina anymore.
Play instead?
I played shit with Kazuo, shit with Shilonen, without Furina as well to see, and it was still a massive difference with and without. I basically just used it well. The usable teams he had back then.
Okay, well, then we are moving on to a Xianyun. Xianyun is like in... Xianyun is restricted. Like, she does enable technically has a universal buff that enables everyone to plunge, but her plunge buff herself is niche, and the plunge playstyle is also usually characters want to do that isn't plunge. So, what do we think?
Okay, about plunge. It's a weird sense of if your character has a terrible kit, their best team is plunge. That type of shit. And then people will probably go to GCC. They find an Eula, Citlali, Bennett, Xianyun, 100k DPS, and they will say it's better than Arla, better than Chlorinde, better than Mavuika even. They will put C2R1, but then edit as C0R1 or some shit. Like, plunge is weird.
Yeah.
For me. The only valid plunger at the moment is Gaming.
Oh, what
besides,
about
well, for Xianyun. For Xianyun. Because Varese is overload.
Yeah, yeah, who?
I don't know. I'm confused.
What?
I wouldn't necessarily call like Xianyun restrictive. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I didn't answer. I don't know. She opens up a niche. I don't know if she like. I don't know if she's. It feels weird to call her restrictive, in my opinion. Too.
I wouldn't say she's restrictive. She's more of an enabler, if anything.
I don't think her enabling playstyle is that good. So I just think that as a as a Plunge support, she is needed to Plunge you.
Like to buff
Sure.
only plungers, I guess. Yeah.
I get just to
But-
buff specifically plungers, sure, yeah, I guess,
But like the Plunge who is like other than like Pyro Melt's bot Plunge, which is in my opinion very clunky, but usable, I guess. Wrong. Like who other than that like would rather plunge that didn't plunge already?
D-Luke, but I mean,
You look is a male
I
plunger.
think it's pretty much just Luke.
Hu Tao,
Sorry.
to an
No.
extent. No, we
I'm
know.
sorry, I
No.
think Delone
Shut
is
up.
better in that slot.
Do not speak Hu Tao plunge.
The thing is,
Do not.
it does sound good, but Hu Tao specifically has a longer plunge animation, which hinders the full plunge potential, and is also a lot longer
cuts down
setup.
so many. It cuts down so many charge attacks. It's not worth it.
And then we have Navia, I guess, but
No, yeah.
Navia's now likes Shilonen as her best support, and Shilonen doesn't work with. If
C2, but
Yeah,
Mhm.
do if you're a whale. acting as if I don't have the C6 clearance. Yeah.
That's okay.
Do you regret having 6/6?
No, I don't use her, but I don't regret it either. Like,
Wait,
it's pretty
I don't
fun.
use it, but I don't regret it, surely.
hold on.
No, I
Go
don't.
for
You pulled
five.
the C6. You pulled the C6 to not use it.
No,
At least.
Yeah, I heard you do
Oh my
that.
God.
I pulled C60 on me on my free to play account. I use her all the time. Every bit of content I can.
I
Listen.
use her when I
Yeah,
want
bro,
to.
be
Like,
like-
I don't know, like Kinkle and Suemi. I don't know if you're really winning there.
But I'm gonna be real with you. When I first pulled it, I felt very underwhelmed. I'm like, wait, this might have been a bad decision. But then I changed different teams. It actually does feel like an upgrade. So it just prevents me from ever doing melt again, which kind of sucks. But it is what it is. I have my main account for that. Anyway.
I don't regret. Like, I still use her for like specific, like either in a good speedrunning abyss or like in a whale, whale event. Like I do use there too. But in general, I just play Kinnick and Navia.
Oh yeah, just so you wait. In a couple months, I will enter an F2P Sino Cup with C6R1. I technically didn't spend money.
Wait, can I do that with my Umia? Can I enter like a free to play cup with a
Maybe.
C6R1?
You
I
Yeah,
don't
not that it would be beneficial, but can I do it?
Probably.
Try it.
Oh, dude.
Try it.
Imagine how much better my free to play account could have been if I just did it on any other character. But like, give me a pog. I can't regret it. Listen.
It doesn't matter anyways. As long as you have 2 teams for the biz and 3 teams for the next content coming, you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the topic
Navia.
at hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
You all wouldn't like say that genuine is restricted.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Well then,
Oh,
let's.
oh. Oh, is it about Navia? I don't think
that was
Navia is
me.
that much restrictive.
No, we didn't talk about Navia yet.
No.
But Janyon. Okay, final Janyon. We are then going over to another like generalized support. That's not generalized, but like element specific supports. What do we think about them? I guess we talked about Shenna already. What do we think about Farozan, Goro, Sarah?
Oh, those.
Sarah is
There's
Sarah's
more
so
of
fucking
the
bad.
she's so bad. She's like limited to one character, and even that's not even Raiden's best team. So
It's actually
she's
It's not even. He can't even
She's just
support
bad.
around. The
She's
character
just
she was
awful.
around, he can't support it.
Dude, why does her buff last? Why? Who made her buff last 6 seconds? Why?
If it lasted like double that, or at least like 10 seconds, she would have actually been decent. But lasting
Dude,
6
okay,
seconds,
if
it
you
just
think
doesn't work with
about it.
anyone, man.
Okay. If you
Huh?
think about it, Sarah is Dalia support. Dalia's 3 seconds.
True.
Honestly, wait, listen. Bro is cooking.
But at C6 it becomes worse. Patches.
I think
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck people were cooking with
I do
And
think
What
let's
they were
just
cooking with her.
take off.
Sarah is very dated,
People
but
living a time where Hoya
She was
didn't know
dated
what
on
the fuck
release.
was-
No, I don't like the dated thing. She was bad on release.
no, I don't.
She's always been bad.
Was good with C0
Ooh.
Clarent, but then we got Yansan, and I would say Yansan is better.
Wait, did bro say Sarah was good with Chlorine?
Yeah, she was. Like I
Was
was,
she?
I was like telling
Didn't
people
Fisher
like
just be
every
better?
day. Yeah, she was
Like,
better.
Yeah, she
listen,
was
okay,
always
I
better
tried
than Fisher.
my first impression. I tried a Cloran, like a weld out, not weld. It was a C0 Cloran, C01, but it was like a C6 Furina, C6 Nahida stuff. And I tried Sarah, and I was like, okay, cleared pretty quickly. And I tried Fisher, and I cleared like a few seconds faster. I'm like, Fisher's
No
just
way.
better.
Okay, I don't.
I-
Okay, that could be
maybe I
the-
was still showing. I don't know, but I feel like Sarah just isn't better than.
It's like Sora has the thing with supports is that usually like with Yansan, like Yansan can be hard to use, but at least the payoff is worth it. Sora
Yeah.
is hard to use and the payoff isn't worth it.
Like,
So
it
why
never
does
is.
she? I can't. Sorry.
And you know what's the funnier part?
I get heated talking about Sora. I'm so sorry.
Raiden likes people to burst, to charge her whatever mechanic is. She needs burst to charge
And
her.
then they disalign Sora and Raiden's. Sorry.
Yeah, they
Hold
didn't
Bro,
align
it's-
her. She extends Raiden's rotations.
It's annoying. It's so bad, man.
Like, you actually need Raiden C6 for Sarah to work.
Yeah, it's so cooked. Oh,
It's
dude.
so fucking dog shit.
It also sucks that Raiden's burst lasts for 7 seconds. Sarah's uptime is 6. Like they couldn't line that up.
They couldn't
either.
have made a more unsynergistic
It's
character.
so bad. But like to be honest, there's like also no other like electro support to use with Raiden if you want to have the highest damage. So she ends up being used anyway. But that's like the only scenario you're ever gonna use Sora realistically is like to make Raiden do as much damage as possible, which usually isn't even the best way to play Raiden. But
okay, I guess
so
I'm the odd
And
one
Kinkle
out.
only
what do you like Sora as a character? You think she's well made?
I don't think she's well made, but I do think that like at C6 that she was a good support for both C0 Clarent. Technically, she's also a good support for C0 Veresa, but no one plays her because Yansan is better. And
something like that.
for C2 Raiden, Sarah is better than Yansan. And like the 20-second cooldown, yeah, it sounds very bad, but for speed running, you don't care about that anyway. So like Sarah is still used
You
in
either
speed runs.
rotate or you bust.
Okay,
Basically.
but for general use, I do think that Sarah is very awful, and I do think that she's the most C6 locked character, probably C6 locked 4-star, other than Farazan, probably. Farazan is also very C6 locked.
I would. She is probably the most C6 locked character in the game, and 4-star in the game. I would say, like outside of C6, there is even for Raiden or anyone else, there's just better characters. Especially with the Yansan, they're just better characters.
Okay, then
Well, I don't
guess
even want to talk about
Goro next.
Wait,
And Goro's a failure. Goro's
wait,
just a
before
failure as well.
Before we go to Goro, by extension,
Goro's-
because Sarah is so C6 locked and she's also just not great with many people, would you would say she's definitely the most restricted 4-star, I would say. I feel like she might be more restricted than Nilo if you think about it. If you really think about it. But anyway.
The only
really think
funny
about it.
thing about Goro is, well, he's useless. He's useless. We all know that. But he has one use over Sarah that no one can replicate. If you have good fingers and a controller with enough practice, you can do ARCC with
We're not
official
patting this.
C6, and you just N1 cancel do like 30 hits a second, and it's faster than most DPS's C0 in boss rushes.
I remember.
You can do
that.
that. It's funny. With
Yeah.
enough investment, it can be decent. But that's about it for Goro. For supporting is, why is he locked to 3 Geo?
Yeah, I think
nobody knows.
they, regarding Geo characters, I feel like they went all over the place and somehow created units that, like, none of the Geo units right now specifically like each other, even though it's the element that's supposed to be like, oh my god, we are Geo, we are together, we are Geo.
Together we are Geo.
To get Geo together strong, surely.
Yeah, like Zhongli, I guess, like Zhongli didn't. If you had an element on the team, then Zhongli wasn't providing Geo resonance, and then he didn't provide that much. Then Goro doesn't synergize with E2 because now his best team is double Geo. Same with Chiori, and Chiori, yeah, has other anti-synergy issues with Navia. Jilonen doesn't have off-heal Geo, so technically she also has anti-synergy with Navia, even though she's still the best option. Katrina... Actually, what about Scrollbot?
Scrollbot?
Yeah.
The Scrollbot. She's just a Scrollbot.
Doesn't have a kid. It's just an artifact. A construct.
I would say Goro before Jalona existed was like synergistic, not synergistic, but like he was good with Ito, and then Jalona came out and then he got absolutely annihilated. But
although his buffs were always kind of interesting.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He only gives like 400 defense.
Yeah.
It's so
That's
little.
Like 400 defense for Ito.
And 15% Geo damage. Crazy.
Surely. Yeah.
And
something
40% Geo crit damage. Wait, we can.
Damn.
I realized I never tested this, but like pre C6 Goro, was Bennett ever any better than Goro Ito before Zone existed? I never got to test that.
I don't
I
remember.
felt that might have been the case. I felt like that might have been the case.
I mean, if you think about it, Goro gave 400 defense, which equates to like 400, 450 attack for Ito. Bennett gave like 1,000 attack.
Yeah.
Oh
that's
wait, yeah, and he also has 25% defense. So I guess like team-wide defense.
Obedo, yay, at the time, and then Obedo got power creep, so
The only scenarios I've ever seen Goro being played was way back then when there was like a defense blessing, back when blessings had a meaning. And it was Ilonen Hyper C6 R5. That's the only scenario I saw Goro being played.
That is like the only use case. That's the only case for him really right now is Jalona Hyper Carry. With it's like literally it. For like C6 Jalona or even Plunge Jalona, I guess. But yeah, Chiori is Hyper, yeah.
Although I
think Troy Hyper or Jalona Hyper Carry.
Jilonen's best like carry team would actually probably be Plunge. It's very mid. Like I wouldn't recommend to invest. Yeah,
it is Plunge. Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend investing to it because it's very mid. But I got better clears with Kichina. I don't know why.
It's very difficult to pop out 8 plunges on Shilonen with her E.
True. Yeah, it has to be frame perfect, and you can't dash, which is very annoying. Okay.
I don't know why they did that with all the Natlan carries. It's so weird.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Like Mulan, you tried to chase down an enemy. Goodbye, Night Soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, and dashing on Kinkle is illegal.
It feels wrong. Like it feels illegal.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be able to do this.
They should have just made it to where, like, in combat, you don't lose extra Night Soul by dashing or something. It would have been like it would have been a simple thing. They could have really make it better.
The only Natlan character that likes dashing is Mavuika with some weird combos.
Yeah, that's the only one.
Speaking of Mavuika, I mean, we have talked about it like 30, 40 times already. We still think that her relying on other Natlan characters is an issue. I feel like, honestly, this point, at this point, the Natlan supports are so good, she would use them anyway. Like, let's be real.
I think
Literally, yeah, that's so true.
I think
That's
it's.
actually true.
I think the problem was at the time we just had so few that when you didn't have Silali or Zelenin, your teams are just looked very bare bones. But now we have more like Oron, Yansan that can work with her. That then you just have filled out teams anyway, even if you don't have her best supports, because there's just a lack of Natlan characters at the time. So
Yansan made her more playable in Overload from experience. Like, it feels like night and day, because you can actually fit an Electro unit that does some damage and snapshot it with Yansan's buff, which is mostly official at the moment.
I think I would always recommend Aurika to like be pulled with Sitlali.
Obviously, yeah.
It really is a prime support.
The ceiling for Movigas and Lolly teams is just so high at the moment, so that's the reason why. But
Lolly is just the GOAT.
She is, though. She really is.
There's just no competition.
For better or worse.
Sitlali to be like the best character in the game in one of my shorts. And I do kind of stand by it.
You can argue it.
Yeah.
You can really argue it, though. If you talk about vertical investment, you can really argue it. Her vertical investment.
C1 and C2 Sitlali are.
It's so stupid, bro. Dude, when I first calced it, I'm like, dog, am I calcing this wrong? There's no fucking way.
Why is
There's no way it's wrong
equal to a C2 Arlecchino? How
it's so freaking crazy.
And usually if a character has like a busted C2, their C1 is mid. Like if you look at C2 Malvika to C1 Malvika sucks. If you look at C1 Raiden compared to C2 Raiden, C1 Raiden sucks. But no, Sitlali C1 is still stupid, and her C2 is even more broken.
Dude, you know what's fucking crazy about C1? I recently just calced this because I don't have a Shin on my main account, but I got Ayaka by accident. I lost on Chronicle Banner. I was like, wait, let me just see C1 Sitlali versus Shinha. C1 Sitlali is fucking better. It's crazy, dude. I can't.
I can't wait for a Sitlali rerun. I'm gonna fucking glaze the shower. Sorry. Yeah, go on, Rolf.
Sure about the C1. Was it C1?
What about C2 Sitlali?
Was it C1 or 1?
She has VV. This is C2 Sitlali. She has VV and Nakita's entire kit. By the C2.
and like Shenhe as well, a little bit of Shenhe in there too. It's
Shen has gold as well. Arguably better because it's more. You can have like 12 or 14.
You'd have, I think, 13 max per rotation, and they can scale higher, more flat damage.
You up to 16, I'm pretty sure.
You can. You can. Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes it even. Oh my god, he's too fucking cracked.
Yeah, I remember people calling your C1 dog shit. Like, how do you say?
No, people just don't understand how flat damage works.
People just don't understand how flat damage works.
I do.
It's a pretty decent compilation. It's not.
It's not.
Well, turbo broken, but it's compared to most C1s. It's a good step to the C2.
That's true.
Considering
that Shilon in C1 does nothing, it's strong.
Yeah. The fact that C1 and C2 both are very strong is kind of nuts. Like it's a crazy combo of constellations.
Yeah, and
they tried to tell me that Escoffier is better than Sitlali.
Oh, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
Okay,
it was basically what if Escoffier power crept Sitlali? Because Fontaine is better than Natlan.
Okay, somehow Escoffier actually have Sitlali, which is really fun.
A lot of our teams actually, they like other Hydro DPS teams have Sitlali in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to know why? Because TTDS is a solid support weapon. It's like 8k DPS sometimes. And Cinder City is a broken set.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk. Before we continue to glaze Sitlali further, we should go to Emilie. Okay, I will say that...
I don't think Emilie has real restrictions.
Yeah, she's not that restrictive. Because she works...
Agree.
Yeah, she works just outside of pure burning teams because of things like quick burn and other things. So it's just she's not really that restrictive. She opens up quite a few nice teams.
I play Emilie on field. That's it.
Yeah, Emilie on field is also great.
Fun.
It is very fun.
Okay, but regarding Emilie, I do think that people will have to see for Pyro carry specifically, he's Zhangling. Like she's an Zhangling upgrade.
Yeah, literally, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how you have to look at her.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is that all Pyro carries currently, like Sidlani, I guess.
Yeah.
Like other archetypes. Sidlali. Actually, it's probably just my, yeah.
The thing is, I was gonna say Emilie would be such a good character if the Scroll of Cinder City didn't exist.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
probably true.
Yeah.
It makes such a big fucking difference. It's so sad.
Has anyone actually
40 damage percent.
What's your question? Saga?
I was going to say, has anyone ever carried like Mavrika Emilie? I know probably no one
I
plays
have.
it, but like you have.
I've tried it. I have. It's not bad. I mean, I have a C2 Mavrika, so maybe it's not really fair, but
I have played Mavrika with
it was
Emilie,
fun.
like
Especially this
Pyro
abyss.
stuff, using like Bennett, Shilonen as the core, basically, between Emilie and Xiangling. Funnily enough, Xiangling was giving me better results in single target. But Emilie, if I use her burst, she basically wins. In most scenarios.
Her burst is kind of
The
broken.
burst is nuts.
Her burst is so weird. Because it has that Ganyu thing with Venti back then, but the AoE
Yeah.
of the pops are higher. So
Yeah.
it has a more forgiving factor in
It
itself.
also just does significantly more damage than like Ayato or Ganyu burst, so
Well, the
that's the
bar
one of
is
the two.
the bar is below the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's basically Emilie. I guess we glazed a bit, but I need to justify glaze.
I mean, it's kind of
And
just
don't
true
you
though.
Don't you want to glaze a little bit more? We still have time.
Okay, we talked about do you think Chaska's restricted? Maybe
No.
like just
She used to be before we got more characters, but I think her teams are kind of open now. I mean, I don't like Chaska to be honest, but
I don't like Chaska.
Chaska's
I don't.
in a different way. She's like, yo, give me PAGC and I work. It's not like the other animals where give me Faruzan or I retire.
I always see Flip using some random ass freeze Chaska team. Like I was like, what is he doing? Flip, what is the meaning of this?
It works.
I mean,
It
freeze
works.
shots is kind of crazy because the amount of application you're getting is you kind of just don't stop freezing enemies.
Is it an Escoffier team?
I haven't tried it with the Escoffier, so
I was using it before Escoffier. I was doing okay, you're gonna roast me. I was doing like Lolly, Shenhe, Furina, and I was swapping to Numa, Furina every other rotation to heal.
Oh wow. Oh yes, the
That's-
copium when you don't have a healer with Furina. Yes. When you don't have a CP
That's a bit
Furina.
terrible, but it's like playable. At least Shenhe buffs some of the hits.
Okay, let's leaked characters. Oh, actually, I shouldn't. I should probably. It's fine. Okay, Dalia is a attack speed blocked character.
Oh my god.
Dog shit.
Okay. About Dalia, I wanna fucking say it. Why did they fuck up another attack speed buffer? What's the point?
Why did they fuck up
Make
another
someone
4-star
that literally
Hydro?
gives basically make an attack speed buffer that gives like defense threat to normal attacks or some shit. Why only attack speed and very few of it? Make it cap. Make it give like 70-80%. Like straight up cap it. Why not?
Yeah.
Why
a little bit
on
of attack
30?
speed. A little bit of attack speed
And
never
the
helps.
party that is worse than Mika till C6 for attack speed buffing. Is worse than Mika till C6. Because Mika gives more. The only difference is the element. One's Hydro, other's Cryo.
Yeah,
That's it.
unironically, I think actually, I mean that's. Would you say that Dalia is the worst character since since Carve?
Dalia is a contender to literally bottom 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, but they gave him the 30% attack speed instead of 25%. Surely that's gonna save him.
Surely.
like, what the fuck? I play 4-star only all the time, and this unit is literally the worst. It makes Kavya look good. It's so bad.
His power, literally, he could have been released in 1.0. Like his kit gives me 1.0 vibes.
No. His kit is an insult to 1.0 units. At least most of them.
Do you know what's funny?
That's actually funny.
Rosaria is better for Skirk than Dalia is.
Yeah.
That makes
Yes.
sense.
And I even made a bet. I made a bet with TGS server that if Dalia loses to Candace for Skirk, I will show my feet. And now I have to do it.
What the hell?
Because Candace wins. And I'm gonna calc it to confirm it. But so far Candace is winning.
If you're gonna do
I
that,
don't
then
know
make
what
sure
the
to
fuck-
give Calamity of Eshi to Skirk if you're using Dalia.
Yeah, that's like the only
Oh,
saving
yeah,
grace is that event weapon that probably half the people don't even have. So
Yeah, but
if you don't have Calamity,
the other like
I will put Calamity with what's the name again? Dalia and finale with Candace. We'll see
Yeah.
who does better. If Candace wins, I'm gonna be so disappointed.
I can kind of just guarantee Candace is probably going to win. First of all, finale is just a peak weapon, so like.
Yeah. Okay, but like
both of the 4-star weapons are good. That's the thing. Both the 4-star weapons are good. One just has crit rate, so it can like scam. Because we calc with average damage, so higher crit rate's better. That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay. So
And that's it about
did you calc Lila?
Did you Layla? Yeah. Oh, I forgot the result.
Is she better than Dalia?
I think she was. Hold on.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Wait,
That's all I need.
Wait, let me make sure. I have where's Layla? I have
Layla has.
These are kind of old, but wouldn't change anything. I just like it would be the same results.
Can
but
you send them, like, so I can put
here's
them on screen?
Oh sure, let me just screenshot them. I guess. Here is. Yeah, but just preface. These are old. These are.
Wait, what are these Layla calcs for? Who? Skirk. It's Skirk.
Layla, you can invest some damage and it can be decent. Dalia literally is EQ, and even if you give him damage, the max I got was like 30k.
Does anyone know if flat damage scales with the 1.7 multiplier? I literally forgot.
The quill? The quill should. I think it should add up.
With the 1.7 multiplier of okay, because Lila also has quills.
It's not damage per se.
I was trying to figure out what you're saying. You kept saying Lila. I was like,
okay, Dalia is slightly better.
Oh no!
Okay, he beat someone. No,
300 within 300 damage.
So which basically means if you have really good auto, if you have really.
I'm not gonna.
Is Dalia that bad? Yep.
Yes.
I mean, we've been yapping about it, but.
Okay.
If you could cheat out Freedom Sword on Layla.
Oh God.
But that's about it.
Okay. Then I guess we are done with every single character. We talked about every single character. What's our conclusion? So, do we need those characters? Like, are those?
I will say.
I think we need.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that's my take too. I think they aren't a bad thing as long as they. I feel like, yeah, they really aren't a bad thing to the game. They can sometimes buff niches that need the buffs, right? Like how what Farzan does to Animo or what Chevreuse does to Overload. I think as long as they don't get ones that are like so overpowered that they make. Like if we get a character, like a DPS like Skirk, for example, where they're so extremely locked to something that if they don't have it, like if a Skirk doesn't have a Escoffier, we lose a crap ton. Stuff like that, I feel like is bad. But other than that, I think restrictive characters are fine.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
For restrictive characters, I will say that they're better than the global ones for certain matchups. Like they're very matchup dependent to be like above others in some teams.
Yeah.
If the matchups favors that archetype, like Escoffier's archetype or Chevreuse, like Tulpa, something like that, they can be better than others by a substantial margin in certain investments. But they're also the easier to counter over the global ones. Because if they put a matchup they can't be in, like the Lava Dragon for the Escoffier, it's very rare you will play against that shit.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult. Niche characters are good. Restrictive characters are good to have as long as they're good in that restriction. If they're bad, they're like worst units in the game. Like
Yeah.
Thera, Goro,
Yeah.
If
Mika.
a unit fails, like in a restriction, like they are literally unsavable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. And then about Faruzan C6, I think it's the most scummiest constellation ever. Like 90% of her kit budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
at least
I-
that C6 makes her work. So that makes her a good unit. Because every
Yeah.
4-star is born at
Yeah, I will say locking things behind C6 is a very scummy thing to do. That's not good practice, but like I like how Yansan isn't so limited that she needs. I mean, she
so
doesn't need
far.
anything past her C2 in most cases, but like I'd rather have characters have stuff like skill and power as you get set certain cons rather than C0 to C5. They're but then once you get to C6, they're really good. Like that kind of structure is not great. It's very scummy.
I remember
As long as they don't lock 90% of the budget to the C6, you can have a good C6. Like
Yeah,
Chevreuse C6. You
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
need that C6, but it's a good boost.
Mhm.
You don't need Yansan C6, but it's an even bigger boost than her boost.
Yeah,
So like, as long as you make the C6 good and not a Faruzan type thing, which I believe it's gonna be a one time only. I hope they don't do Faruzan C6 ever again.
I have a feeling they probably
I
will
hope
because
so
Hoyo,
too.
but we'll see.
Okay, but regarding, I forgot what I was going to say now.
Oh no! Oh no!
Go ahead.
Give it a sec. Let the
Oh,
remembrance thing help.
No, it was about what unit did we just discuss?
Faruzan?
was joking about Faruzan C6 being a 90% power budget. That's it.
Was something about
What do you
locked
think?
constellations, but I don't remember. It's gone.
Oh, it's locking so much power to a C6 that till C6 they're unplayable in comparison. It's like picking Chevreuse's Shred and lock 30% of it to the C6. And Johnny Watch Shred's 10% baseline.
That'd be so bad.
That would be so
That'd be
fucking
so
good.
bad. Yeah. Maybe like the fattest
C6
rip
would be
ever.
the same character, but the difference between having C6 and not will be much larger. And I don't think I like that
Yeah.
sometimes.
Okay, it's just not going to come back anyway. So we didn't actually talk about carries that are restrictive, other than
I mentioned
Marika.
I mentioned Skirk a bit.
I guess, yeah.
We've
But
mentioned
typically
it,
there's
Shasta,
Navia
but
and Kinnick.
like-
Both Navia, like Navia specifically, her restrictions aren't actually like that utilized, quote unquote, because now you just play Jelonin and you don't really care about the geocrystallization progress. But Kinnick still very much feels like a restricted character in terms of team, but it's to his benefit because the fact that he relies on Bennett's and attack scaling, like double pyro resonance and characters like Emilie is so much better than relying on the Dendro bullshit, because it's just more damage. I would much rather a unit like him, like play a unit like him that relies on good units than a unit like I'll hide them that relies on
Speed
yeah.
your pit. And about Navia, it's similar to Chaska, but it's not like, oh, I need these to do certain damage. It's no, I need these to generate the crystals and also the passive, like more attack, whatever. But it's more so about the crystal generation. So if a support can apply, it technically works with her.
Yeah, and technically, like, she does feel like technically Navia would have been good as a triple geo or like mono geo kind of if she didn't have like the passive and like she didn't need that generator. So it does like remove that team from her list. So like you
And
can't
you
you
could
shouldn't play
technically play
Shilone and
triple G.
Chiori.
You could technically play triple geo at like high investment, like constellations and shit, or against matchups where they have innate auras. So you just regenerate no matter what.
Yeah, but the
You can do
problem
that.
then is not enough team slots, I guess also in general, because she always has Bennett in her team. Like she needs Bennett, she needs
So at high cons,
Bennett,
at
she
high
needs
cons, there's different shit you can do.
she needs Bennett, she needs off-field like elemental applicator, and then she needs another G. Like that's basically all her team work, I guess. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
The lowest end I have seen. Sorry, what?
Go on.
The lowest Geo I have seen someone playing with her, I believe it was Ningguang or some shit. Back in the days during her release. I think it was Ningguang the lowest end for a
It was
Geo.
pretty fun. I played that. Okay, is there any more? Yeah, I guess we said that like, okay, what the counterpart of restrictive character is universal characters. What do we think about universal characters like Azura and Ronin and Yelan, I suppose?
I think they just need to be
okay.
balanced in a certain way for them to be not like extremely broken. Which,
yeah, I think so too.
Well, talking about supports and internet DPS as well.
Universal characters are easier to power creep than the niche ones, for the most part. As long as the niche character is good in it, it's very hard to power creep it unless they intended to do it.
I think the funniest thing is like,
you know,
people thought that Escoffier, or some people thought that Escoffier was going to be her power creep, but instead of power creeping the cryo support, he actually was like helping the cryo support.
She basically buffed Shenhe.
Yeah.
But on Shenhe Quills have more uses.
That's playable, basically. Yeah, because the quills are team-wide. Until Escoffier, there was really no reason to batch the team-wide, but now there is, because there's a character that actually does damage off field now, which is Escoffier.
I wonder if
it's mostly just for an active team. You can use it for other carries, but it's not as great.
Okay, that brings us already to end of the episode. There's not really. Actually, we kinda didn't about Yun. Does anyone want to talk about
There's not many restricted.
I mean,
if I'm being honest,
I still to this day. Okay, Clarence supports are so misunderstood, like on release. Like today, it's really easy. Yansan, Mavrika, Chevreuse, basically the same as Rasa. But back then, I do think that Yunjin and Sarah were like very strong supports for Clarence.
Yeah, there was
and I was alone with that. Anyone wanna that? Does anyone even play Yunjin?
I mean, I mean, I used to play her with Yoimiya, and then she got power crept. So, yeah, Yulona came out and was just better. So,
have you tried double with Yunjin?
I have. I tried Yulona and Yunjin together. It was okay, but I mean, it's okay.
I do.
I
think-
watched Flip on stream do double geochlorine, and me and the entire chat was mauling watching him not do good damage. He cleared it with decent time, I guess. I don't know.
Wow. Okay. I
They're
But
just
it's
better
horribly.
teams, man. It wasn't horrible, but like they're better teams. That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, it works. Double Geo with Union works. It's just that Union
Back
just
then,
altogether just isn't
the
the greatest
threshold
unit,
was
to be honest.
so smaller, so teams like that could just weep.
Yeah.
And now you do that with the same investment, and it's womp.
I do think that
It's
could get another use case maybe, and Clorand is really just, even though Flip probably embarrassed the Yunjin, I do think that like if we get a character again doesn't have a specific archetype, like Clorand didn't have a specific archetype on her release, I guess yeah, Chevreuse, but I don't think the Chevreuse developed. It was kind of awkward, in my opinion. But
the only support you could really use was Toma. She couldn't use Xiangli not because she was like unplayable, because she's like the only, besides Mavuika, till Mavuika's release, the only pirate that could do sub DPS at some point. But the problem with it is just she can't fit it. 20-second cooldown. Can't fit.
yeah,
That's the issue.
that was the reason. So that's why I personally thought that Yunjin were actually, but that's just to spread my agenda, I guess. Also, another trick for anyone that's still wants to play Yunjin, like double Geo Yunjin, and specifically running her on the craftable that gives a ton of defense.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
funneling her Gelonen's particles into you. Very important, because usually you don't need to.
Yeah, you can try that. Oh, and Yunjin's technically a niche character because it's just normal attacks, if you think. Pretty much.
Yeah, but like her use cases are very.
Her use
Bennett
cases,
is a niche
there's
character
nothing
because he
normal.
only buffs attack.
surely
There's
Bennett's niche. Oh wow, that's a
attack is more globalized than fucking normal attack damage. It's like there's like 3-4 stats you can scale off, which is attack, defense, HP, and EM. Unless they make a character that literally scales with crit, like straight up multipliers being crit damage. But I
Okay,
don't think they will do that.
the script says Cookie, but I don't think Cookie is like restricted. She just naturally fits into Hyper Bloom.
yeah.
Cookie is a poverty C character.
Poverty. Cookie is hot. Oh, who said that? Who?
And that's true. But past that, it's just a poverty C unit. Basically, quick bloom shit.
Okay. My
Or
Yunjin is level
Hyper
70 as filler to theater. Wow. Yunjin really wants level 90. I have a level 90 Yunjin, if anyone.
I have a level 90 Yunjin, and then I don't have her leveled on my main account. I took her for ages. I got her C6 on my main account, on my free to play account, faster than I did on my main, which is crazy considering I whale on my main account.
IT resets tomorrow. Will any
Oh,
of
yeah.
us clear?
I think we're all
It's
clear.
aggregate with Knight.
Wait, is it the Geodendron one? Is it the Geodendron
Yeah, I
one?
think so.
Did she sound like it?
Oh,
It's Electrodendropryo.
It can't be that bad. Wait. If it's Dendro, my free to play account's gonna suck. I don't have a single Dendro character built. Not a single one.
And
I
according
completely
to
ignored
my
it.
sources, according to my reliable sources, they made a fucking reaction just for IT. Or some sort of interaction.
Oh, the buffs, yeah.
Oh, isn't this
Yeah, it's
the
the
theater where they start introducing the elixir that we get for getting level or get to floor to or act 10 or whatever?
Yeah, we do that. Yeah, we're gonna get elixirs double.
I'm gonna rip my free to play account. We're never getting act 10 on this one. Jeez, that's a
Do you know
fat
what
Yeah,
rip.
else is funny?
What's funny?
What?
Remember when we were supposed to be getting a level 100 characters in Natlan?
Oh yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it?
We
Have
will
100
never get those.
characters.
We
Do you not
will
remember
never
this?
get them.
I remember someone. Yeah, there was a thing about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Yes, it
Like,
was so hyped, and
I
then
always knew
as
it was
soon as
bullshit.
it was so hyped for no reason. Like it's not happening unless they're gonna leak it 2-3 patches ahead for the new region. And I think that there's only one last niche unit or restrictive. Then I don't know if I could call her restrictive even. She's just garbage. Featuring.
Oh yeah, Cedric. I forgot about her. Forgot she existed.
Yeah, because she has weird skill damage quills.
Yeah, Furina
And I'm
quills.
gonna mention her because Escoffier. So like the
Furina quills.
Quill to Furina and Escoffier, that's cool. But how about buffing the on-fielder? How about that?
Okay, like the design is peak. It's just like a 30k buff for that specific buff just ain't enough. Like it should have been 60 as a baseline, and then one should have doubled it.
Oh, I think doesn't her quills have? I don't think her quills works as Shen. I think they share the same amount. Is that
it
true?
doesn't. Yeah, it does share. That's why you kind of want C1, which adds
Bro,
8.
like what the fuck? They actually made the worst Shen. That's crazy.
Wow, let's not dog on Shenna. She just got buffed.
No, I wasn't even dogging on that. I was saying they managed to make a worse Shen.
If anything,
Which is
she's
Siege
worse Yunjin. Yunjin buffs more.
That's actually crazy.
That's crazy.
Listen, you just pull
Another
CJ to make her DPS, and that's how you play her.
Okay, I think the most scummy thing ever what they did was they wanted us to believe that Furina healers are just supposed to be hit. Like that's how, like, either you are a good unit, you like that's how they wanted us to believe how Furina works. Either you play her with a more cope healer that it has insane utility, or you play her with a team white healer that has shit utility, that doesn't provide anything. And then
And
they
guess
released
what?
Escoffier, and
Guess what?
Escoffier is just a buffer, a healer, and a damage dealer, and all at once, and
Yeah.
drives Furina.
Oh yeah, I think I have. I didn't make an image, but you could make a Venn diagram of cryo supports. You put Escoffier in the middle, 3 circles, 1 for damage, 1 for support, 1 for healing, specifically for Furina. If you look at every single cryo support, all of them only did one of those things at best, and most of them were bad at it.
Isn't that for every
And then
character?
4 or 5 years ago, they made a Escoffier, which is the best at the 3 things, which basically made Ayaka playable. And apparently, that's an endangerment to the game's balance. Yes, Jeff, I'm watching you.
I don't think so. That was anyway, okay, I think we should close it off then. Like, we've talked about everything. Yeah, I can speak. We've talked
Is that all the
about
niche unit? Wait, is that all? I thought there were more niche now. We have like almost 100.
There isn't even 100 characters in Genshin.
Yeah, Skirk will be the 100th character, I believe, right?
Well, if with that logic, technically Dalia could be the 100th.
Oh my God, no! Let's keep it Skirk. Let's not. Semantics.
No. Who opens the door first to 5.7? Will it be Dalia or will it be Skirk?
They're on the same time.
Whoever
Yeah,
crosses the door first is the 100.
I mean, on
I'm going to say
Project
Skirk.
Amber, it's for Dalia.
Project Amber's not officially made by Hayo, is it now? So no, you can't use that.
Wow, yes, you are definitely want Skirk to be the 100th
Yeah, but like, I'm
character.
trying to see the roster. But like, I think that the only quote-unquote niche that hasn't been mentioned is like Auroran, just like EC or Night Soul to enable this shit. And
Yeah.
that's probably the next one.
But I feel like
Because I don't see anything else.
there's a I guess.
And Auroran, there isn't much to mention. He's just an AoE official that can hold Cinder City.
Yeah, although like he specifically is either wants Night Soul or wants Electrocharged in his, otherwise he doesn't work. So I guess he is
And the most I have seen him use it is as either as a scroll bot, obviously, or against the Night Soul shield, which for some teams it can be a pain, and Auroran could alleviate some of it. But the best way to alleviate it is via burning, if you can on-field Pyro MC. If it can even fit in the team. But that's pretty much about Auroran. It's just Taser, Natlan comp, or bust.
Okay, well then we're done with Auroran. No more. Over.
Over, yes.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming. I guess this will be a more shorter episode. Maybe next time we will have a special guest, perhaps.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Wink, wink. Wink, wink.
And if you want to join the Sucrose Stans podcast, you can hear me. My Discord is linked in the description. Thank you all for watching, and the next
On the
one.
flip side, sorry.
Dang.
Peace.
Bye.
Cheers.
Don't forget the peace at the end.
See y'all.
We are officially 23 episodes. Amazing.
Yeah,
Okay,
Close to
bye.
25.
Half a year.